Why are you looking at me like that for?
Helping with the actual cooking. I think Andy.
Yeah?
I think he's gonna ask me to marry him.
I actually need help with the kitchen.
Are you sure that you need my help, honey bun?
I don't even know where I am.
Sorry, it's okay. Don't do anything stupid.
You stay there. I know funny business, but I'll shoot.
It's okay, just...
They're looking for suspected carjacker. We cornered him and his friend down the road.
Is there anything else?
So far so good. Tunakushukuru sana ewe mpenzi wa kipindi cha Bridge Over Congo na KBC Channel 1 kwa ujumla. Kwa ewe mpenzi wa rumba, mpenzi wa muziki ya Afrika, kipindi kipendacho cha Bridge Over Congo kitakuwa kinakuja kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 11:30 ya jioni hadi saa 12:30 ya jioni majira ya Afrika Mashariki. Nzokole mpaka nino na eti, yani ndovu hachoshwi kamwe na pembe zake. Make this Sato utanipata mimi le grand polygamista Simeon Mfumo Kimbangu na Winnie Marie Jose, ambapo toko tunafanya fimbo chapa.
Kupata police sherehe kama sikiza tune kwenye simu yako, bonyeza *811 758 hash.
Raya, kwa nini unapigia mtu wakati ya sherehe? It's either two things. Ego emergency ama unamuitia sherehe. Usikuwa unasumbua raia mwingine wakati wa sherehe pana. Wacha watu wagule na wa drive safe. Pia mimi niguche kama ni sherehe. Niguche? Nagucha. Wacha achukue simu pasi. We nani? Wacha uchukue simu ya sherehe pana.
Kupata police sherehe, bonyeza *811 758 hash. *811 758 hash.
Every day, over 15 million members are transforming Africa. million members, empowered to learn, to create, to grow, to harvest, to lead, to dream. Equity. Karibu member.
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. This is KBC. You're just in time for the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Irene. Muchuma Odem on sign language interpretation. We have Byron Abuli. We're also live on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja maintains he is still in the race for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat despite the Commission for University Education revoking his degree certificate. Sakaja decried discrimination from the Commission, which is demanding proof of his academic stint at the Thames University in Uganda. Sakaja further says his legal team will pursue the matter in court to ensure justice is served.
On Friday evening, the Commission's chairperson, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti Chacha, listed requirements Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has to meet in order to be cleared to contest for the gubernatorial position come August 9th. They include his application for the course, letter of admission from the university, evidence of registration, credit accumulation and transfer system, and a course description for the Bachelor of Science in Management.
Further, provide receipts for the application fee when he applied, tuition fees paid, graduation and convocation fees paid in order to graduate, and he should also provide names of lecturers that taught him some of the courses and any communication with the university staff, both academic and administrative.
In his defense, Sakaja has termed the demands as discrimination and a tactic aimed at pushing him out of the gubernatorial race.
We qualify to run for the office of governor of Nairobi County. You cannot revoke and then investigate. You investigate and then, if you need to, you revoke.
The Nairobi senator is expected to appear before the Commission for University Education on Monday. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, police in Kisii County are holding a suspect over the defilement of two girls in Nyaribari Chache. The two girls, aged between 12 and 14 years, who are orphaned, are said to have been attacked by unknown people at night while sleeping in their house. They have since been rescued and sheltered at a nearby children's home.
The two girls had been living on their grandmother's house, having lost their parents. On the fateful night, they were allegedly attacked, and one of them was sexually abused by the suspect.
Nilikuwa nimelala asubuhi, sistangu akakuja akaniambia amekosewa. Sasa mimi kuamka kaenda nikapata kweli amekosewa. Mimi ndio nimekuwa nikilea watoto tangu nyanyangu ameaga dunia. Niko na shida mingi, so mpaka hata shule nikaaja juu ya mzazi, hakuna mzazi.
Sub-County Deputy Police Commander Thomas Parkolwa, in confirming the incident, said the girls have been sheltered elsewhere.
The investigations are underway to solve an issue of a defilement case. The investigations are underway to solve an issue of a defilement case. So, we are handling the matter.
It's the device. We are doing it from the sub-county part of it, that is the health section. We are giving health information to our people.
We have gender-based violence. We have key issues that are undermining the process, and one of them is the kangaroo courts, which in other forms I know the community will call as alternative dispute resolution. But when you come to sexual and gender-based violence, we don't have any chance. The government does not allow, even law does not allow for alternative dispute resolutions, because any case against that pertains to defilement or rape is a criminal case.
One of the minors is receiving treatment and psychosocial support.
The government has opened to the public a gender-based violence facility in Meru County. The facility will offer counseling sessions to victims of gender-based violence and tame the vice, which has been on a steady rise in the region. Gender-based violence cases have been on the rise in the country, with some incidents resulting in the loss of lives. The government has unveiled the Meru Mwangaza Rescue Center in Tigania West to save victims from the scourge. The facility will also offer counseling and guidance services to victims. Gender and Public Service Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia said the national government is working on mechanisms to put to a stop the vice.
Hata watoto watakuwa wanasaidika hapa. Kwa tunajua hata kuna ile teenage pregnancy. Wengine they are under 14 na watakuwa wanaangaliwa hapa.
According to Kobia, Isiolo, Samburu, Tharaka Nithi, Embu and Marsabit counties will also benefit from the facility. Kobia says gender-based violence is not just a woman problem but a vice that affects men as well.
Hata hapa, I am imagining about 10% of the men will be coming to look for one solution or the other.
Meru County Woman Representative Kawira Mwangaza said the facility will come in handy in holding families together and save lives.
I have been moving around Meru County with my Okorea program. That is Okorea Kanaka Meru, and I have witnessed these cases in our community. This tells how prevalent GBV is in our community and across the globe.
The government has defended the move to increase the minimum wage by 12% following complaints by employers that they would not meet the cost of the new salaries. Labour Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui says the government had engaged various stakeholders before the president made the announcement on Labour Day.
Speaking during the Agricultural Employers Association 59th Annual General Meeting in Naivasha, the Cabinet Secretary for Labour Simon Chelugui said employers must be honest about the deliberations that went into the decision to review salaries.
We did some analysis. Since 2018, we've not had any review of salaries, and this was the first one. So, of course, employers wrote to me. Your FK wrote to me saying they will not accept any percentage up of a salary increase. They will not manage. And I acknowledge I got that letter. I also got a letter from workers from Kotu, and they wanted 55% salary increase. So we have zero request, we have zero or status quo demand by employers, and I have 55% from Atoli, the workers. So my job as government is to moderate, to balance, and to strike a balance.
Chelugui said the COVID-19 pandemic should not be used as a scapegoat to deny workers their deserved increment.
I look at the cost of living, the replacement cost. How has inflation affected the earnings? Has it been eroded? I would have chosen to even give them more compensatory awards. But because of the letters from employers and the workers' cry, we went for replacement cost. And these are statistical calculations.
But employers insist that there is need to rethink the move because it will lead to industrial action and job losses.
Although the minimum wages were last reviewed in the year 2018, this review is to us unsustainable. The move will lead to heightened industrial action and decreased employability.
Meanwhile, Labour Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui said the government will ensure workers are protected during and after the electioneering period. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Samuel Karaoke.
The media has been asked to strive for trust in order to retain its credibility. Speaking during the inaugural of Philip Ochieng Memorial Lecture held in Nairobi County, the Kenya Editors Guild President Churchill Otieno urged journalists to be more confident enough to call out colleagues when they go wrong. Speaking at the same event, Inuka Kenya Chief Executive Officer John Githongo commended the Kenya media for its role and capacity to midwife democracy, terming it a powerhouse in the region. Kamche Menza with the details.
With only 52 days to the general elections, the media is burning the midnight oil to ensure it plays its watchdog role with credibility.
The right to be wrong. It should be interesting that should come up at a time when there's a contest of ideas in the name of elections. And there are also questions as to whether we as a profession, we as an industry, are doing service to all the protagonists in the elections.
During a lecture organized by Kenya Editors Guild to pay tribute to one of Kenya's longest-serving journalists, the late Philip Ochieng, on Friday, journalists were urged to focus on values that drive democracy.
As we enable public debate to take root and to thrive, that we make our spaces safe spaces for the best ideas to win, no matter whether they are minority ideas or majority ideas for the moment.
John Githongo, the Chief Executive Officer in Inuka, Kenya, who delivered the lecture under the theme Elections and the Democratic Process, Does the Media Still Stand Accused?, lauded the vibrancy of the Kenyan media in the region.
The media plays a special role that you don't see in any other country in the region, and in a special way. It has a power, a real soft power, that has to be taken seriously by anybody who arrives here. And when I talk to foreigners who've come into Kenya, and especially if they've been working in other parts of Africa, the one thing they always comment on is media.
Githongo, a former Governance and Ethics Permanent Secretary, pointed out challenges affecting the traditional media space, such as instability in the newsroom, geopolitical changes, social media, and mistrust within institutions of governance.
How our media reports the elections, our debt crisis, and separate from the debt crisis, the economic challenge that we are in, is going to be defining for Kenyan media once again, because it's going to get extremely difficult.
The late Philip Ochieng, who died in April 2021 at the age of 82, was an established author who published several books, including I Accuse the Press, an insider's view of the media and politics in Africa in 1992.
Human rights organizations in Garissa County are calling on the government to ensure refugees in the country are treated in the most humane way. They are also urging the media to highlight the issues affecting refugees to attract the attention of authorities.
Human rights defenders in Garissa County say immigrants registered in the refugees database have not been able to acquire national identity cards, making it hard for them to get birth certificates for their children. During a town hall meeting organized by Kenya Editors Guild in Garissa town, the activists urged the media to highlight more issues affecting refugees.
This is why, na hii ndio sababu vijana wakijaribu kupata ID wanapitishwa kwa vetting process. Vijana wakijaribu kupata ID, wengine wanajipata kwa hii kitu inaitwa refugee database. Vijana wengi sana wameumia na hii kitu ya farakhuti.
Garissa County Human Rights Vice Chairperson Fatuma Badhi noted sexual and gender-based violence cases were becoming a common trend in refugee camps, calling for action from the relevant authorities.
There is these human rights violations ambaye kila siku miaka nenda miaka rudi huwa inafanyika na inapatikana. Not only the refugees, even the locals themselves. Because these cases of SGBV imezidi. Wa Lagdera akikuwa violated, RCK is there to provide for us free legal aid. And I want to thank them. Tulishinda makesi zaidi ya 10 na tukiwatetea ama tukiwa watetezi wa haki za kibinadamu.
The Kenya Editors Guild promised to engage stakeholders in highlighting and educating citizens on refugee rights.
Sisi kama waandishi wa habari letu ni kusema kwamba serikali lazima iangalie how do you reach a middle ground in getting both parties, because hata refugees akona rights zake, Mkenya akona rights zake. So as media houses we must interrogate. Isiwe kwamba Mkenya anaona ni kama amefinyiliwa pande moja na mkimbizi anapewa nafasi.
Early this year, the government issued 12,500 ID cards to Kenyans from the northeastern counties whose names had been captured in the refugees database. Elvis Otieno reporting for Lunchtime News.
You're watching the Lunchtime News. We're taking a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Safe blood transfusions are critical aspects of care and public health, and there's need for a consistent blood bank in Kenya. As there is someone who needs blood every 2 seconds, there's need for regular and voluntary donation of blood to address the current shortage. A culture of donating blood voluntarily is important to improving the situation in Kenya, as it helps save millions of lives by improving the health and quality of many patients. You can donate blood anywhere across the country at your nearest Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service Satellite Center. Help save lives by donating blood.
In the ring with me, because we have a lesson to teach everybody.
Differently.
I got to get the note taker through a well-wisher. That is one of our institutions, Kenya Society for the Blind. They were donated 2 of them to my institution.
Nimefikiria mambo ya kwenda shule na wenye sijapata mwenye anaweza kunisupport upande wa shule. Ningependa niende shule ya mablind pia mimi nijifunze kama wengine.
We're differently abled, differently.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back. You're watching the Lunchtime News. Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho is urging a section of politicians accusing the government of bias to focus on addressing issues affecting the electorate in their campaigns. This as the National Council of Churches of Kenya is calling on Kenyans to be ambassadors of peace as the country gears towards the next general election.
Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho, who was speaking at Tinganga HGM Secondary School in Kiambu County, said the government has put in place proper plans to manage the forthcoming general elections without bias.
Sisi tunajua kama uchaguzi ni lazima ikuwe credible, sisi wenyewe ni lazima tuhakikishe kuna usalama. Na tuko na kazi nyingi tumefanya.
Elsewhere, the National Council of Churches of Kenya is calling on Kenyans to be ambassadors of peace as the country gears up for the August 9th general election. During a ceremony at ABC Manza Church, NCCK Chair Archbishop Timothy Ndambuki said leaders should agree to work together for the common goal of a prosperous nation.
Tunataka amani. Hatutaki kuona the past scenarios ambazo zinatokea after 5 years repeatedly. sio njia nzuri kwa taifa.
At the same time, Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko has called on politicians to conduct peaceful campaigns and ensure that the country is united even after the elections. Keriako has warned political leaders not to politicize environmental matters.
Manake mazingira ukiharibu haitaki kujua wewe party ya sijui naitwa nini Azimio, haitaki kujua wewe ni wa Kenya Kwanza ama kitu chochote zingine hapo katikati.
Meanwhile, a section of political aspirants in Njoro, Nakuru County has committed to uphold peaceful campaigns after being cleared by the Electoral Commission. During a peace-building meeting in Mauche Ward, the candidates pledged to adhere to the Electoral Code of Conduct and avoid violence, incitement, and acts of lawlessness that may threaten national stability and cohesion ahead of the August polls.
Watamke maneno ambaye yanachenga si ya kubomoa. Kwa hivyo watu wa Mauche tumesanyika hapa, tunahakikishia kwamba tunafanya kura yetu kwa amani.
Similar peace calls were made by a section of political candidates allied to KANU in Nyamira and Kisii counties. Speaking in Nyamataro, Kisii County, the leaders led by Bomachoge Borabu Member of Parliament aspirant Stephen Nyambane said if the community is divided ahead of the polls, the region may lose representation in the next government.
Especially those ones who are going for governance, please may you stop this chaos and everything else so that we can have a peaceful election in Kisii.
In Busia County, Governor Sospita Ojamong says his administration has prioritized health concerns of residents owing to challenges faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. While delivering his last State of the County address, Ojamong said the refurbished Busia Referral Hospital is designed to strengthen emergency preparedness and provide efficient medical services.
The government is equipped and staffed over 70 dispensaries at the village level through the county so that no patient is more than 3 kilometers from the nearest health facility.
Finally, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has received a section of defectors from other political parties. Nairobi County Assembly Deputy Speaker John Kamangu, who welcomed the defectors in Kamulu, said area leaders have vowed to come together to address concerns of the electorate, including proper land allocation in the area.
Interest ya Ruai ni mashamba. Tuko pamoja. Hapa tuko saa hii. Sikuna eka 5 na hapa juu. Si mnazijua?
Hundreds of children in Malindi, Kilifi County have partnered with the government and non-state actors in the region to plant trees in a bid to reverse the effects of global warming. The children planted seedlings at the Malindi Police Station and the Mwangea Hill in Ganze and challenged their peers to embrace environmental conservation.
Marching through the streets of Malindi, the children made a case for the environment, challenging Kenyans to embrace the war against global warming. They planted trees at the Malindi Police Station and then traveled to the Mwangea Hill, where they planted an estimated 1,000 tree seedlings.
Mazingira yetu yote yameshaharibika, yameshaharibiwa, tumeshaharibu wenyewe, na tunahusika na kufundisha watoto jinsi ambavyo wanastahili kuhifadhi mazingira yetu na jinsi ambavyo wanastahili kupanda miti kwa wingi, tukiwa na matumaini ya kwamba tutabadilisha environment yetu na tutaweza kufanya Kenya iweze kuwa green kabisa.
Officials said they had targeted the Mwangea Hill because wanton destruction and logging had affected rain patterns.
Tumeenda kupanda miti 1000 leo na kuna patrons wetu, kuna centers zetu kule wataendelea kupanda ule msitu mpaka urudi vile ambavyo ulikuwa zamani.
The initiative brought together different stakeholders, some of whom pledged to plant 5 million trees before the end of the year. For Lunchtime News, I'm Esther Bodo.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's Mayenga FM and Radio Taifa caravan traversed Homa Bay County, empowering learners with knowledge on reproductive health care and life skills. The move is aimed at reducing the high teenage pregnancies and HIV cases in the county. Ruth Omboi has the details.
A day after the Day of the African Child celebrations, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's Mayenga FM and Radio Taifa Caravan Pit Camp in Homa Bay County. Here, the KBC fraternity, Bethel Network and other partners made stopovers at several primary schools in Rusinga Island to enhance awareness among the learners on reproductive health.
So we are here today to just sensitize the community together with Bethel, and they have serious talks when it comes to issues to do with self-awareness to the teenagers, self-identity, issues of being assertive, issues of menstrual when it comes to girls, and even the boys themselves. How do they adapt to these things as they happen in the community?
Homa Bay County has a high rate of teenage pregnancies and HIV cases that have taken a toll on the 100% high school transition target set by the government.
Calling a spoon a spade, like holding a spoon. Not telling kids vitu za watu wazima. Like they don't try to understand what you're talking about. But when you call the thing the way it is, avoid having sex with this and this, avoid a certain contact, you find that these kids, they are able to understand exactly what are you talking about. Na kama ni stories za HIV, stories za early pregnancies, if a kid understands what exactly happens for me to get pregnant.
We have target the very vulnerable girls who don't have this information about health education, especially in terms of puberty and life skills. And that's why today we are at Utajo Primary School, giving this kind of education to the girls and putting more emphasis in terms of giving more knowledge on menstrual hygiene management.
Stakeholders are advocating for reproductive health education in schools to equip adolescents with the skills and knowledge they need to stay safe.
The challenges of the different environment affect our girls differently, and such initiatives help us or enable us implement the program in a custom-made way for the young boys and girls.
The school head teachers hailed the move, saying it would improve academic performance.
Shule nyingi ziko kando ya ziwa Victoria, na kando ya ziwa Victoria tuna wavuvi ambao wametoka sehemu mbalimbali, hata kutoka katika nchi jirani kama za Uganda na Tanzania.
The Homa Bay County reporting most cases of teenage pregnancies in the country. There is need for a concerted effort to ensure learners get sexual reproductive education at a tender age. Reporting from Kamgere Primary School, Rusinga Island in Homa Bay County, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
From education matters, let's get to security concerns. Leaders in Baringo County are warning that 5 locations in Baringo South risk being locked out of the upcoming general election over flaring insecurity. The leaders say the Independent Electoral and Borders Commission must demonstrate how it will ensure all voters cast their ballot, the security situation notwithstanding.
Banditry attacks in parts of Baringo South have left leaders worried that elections may be affected in the region. The leaders say there is a need for a concrete plan on how the violence will be averted to ensure Kenyans exercise their democratic rights.
Sahi wamevamia Mutongoi, sehemu ya Lomaiwe, wamevamia vile sehemu ya Jevinyi hapa, so wametumalizia Kiseri hapa, wametumalizia the entire world. Nobody is living there.
According to Baringo South MP Charles Kamuren, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission must find ways to ensure every ballot is cast on the 9th of August.
Hata kupiga kura saa hii tunapoomba IBC kwamba we have a problem of insecurity in Baringo South. Right now we don't know what will happen with these polling stations. So tunaomba serikali watusaidie wakati huu ili watu wangu wapate nafasi ya kupiga kura kama Wakenya wengine.
So far, 5 locations in Mukutani ward have been badly affected after locals fled a series of killings and cattle raids. Baringo Governor Stanley Kiptis has urged residents to embrace peace.
Tumekuwa na changamoto mingi sana, lakini ningeomba na nikawarai tukae na amani.
Time for Channel 1 Sports News. Katie Butler's hope of reaching the Birmingham Tennis Classic semi-finals ended in a straight-set loss to Romania's Simona Halep. The British player, who has won 6 singles and 4 double titles on ITF Women's Circuit, will now set her sights on next week's Eastbourne International after being awarded a wild card for the event on Friday. Elsewhere, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc has suffered the latest of a series of blows to his title hopes with a grid penalty for excessive engine usage.
'Cause 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 'c
who leads 30-15, 1-2 at the moment.
Katie Bolter hopes of reaching the Birmingham Tennis Classic semi-finals ended in a straight-set loss to Romania's Simona Halep. The Briton started well against the 2019 Wimbledon champion, but Halep raised her game to win 6-4, 6-1.
Oh, goodness me.
She claimed the biggest win of her career by ranking in first round as she beat American Alison Riske for her first victory over a top 40 player. She followed that up with a comfortable straight-set win over French former world number 4 Caroline Garcia. But the second seed Halep posed a challenge too far for the world number 141. Elsewhere, Ferrari have fitted at that electronic control unit at the Canadian Grand Prix, triggering an automatic 10th-place Grand Prix penalty for Sunday's race. Leclerc has suffered an 80-point swing in favor of title rival Max Verstappen after a series of recent problems.
Yeah, I like the track. It's very fun with this all of this curve riding, and it's very different to what we are used to during the season. So yeah, it's nice to have a track with such a character. The race pace we need to work. I mean, it's a bit more difficult to have a clear picture because I was on a different compound all the time. But overall, it didn't look too bad, so that's good.
Leclerc led Verstappen by 46 points. After 2 victories and second place from the first 3 races, from 2 which the Dutchman retired. He also lost victory in Monaco Grand Prix after Ferrari strategy Banco dropped him from lead 4th, while a spin in a closing stage of Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix turned at that place into 6th. For Sports News, I'm Kingori Mwangi.
I rather think he is.
Well, 51 days to the next general election. These as political leaders continue to traverse the country. We are having our eyes on politics. And this afternoon, Kenya Kwanza is in the county of Kiambu. Part of the Azimio Brigade is in the county of Kitui. Be sure to catch up with the teams in our subsequent bulletins at 7 and 9 p.m. Also, for more details on Just Add News and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. We've come to the end of the Lunchtime News. On behalf of the entire team, thank you for your time. My name is Irene Muchuma Odem. On sign language interpretation, we have Byron Abuli. Till some other time, God bless you.